There are so many possibilities for what new character could come into Dead by Daylight for that legendary skin we're gonna see when Chapter 23 hits live servers on March 8th. We found new information along with some research to make some educated guesses on what's to come. Behavior Interactive creative director Dave Richards spoke a little bit about Behavior and the Sadako license holders.
Ringu is from Japan, that's the original content. There's been all sort of different versions of the ring made. So of course there's the American one that we're used to here. As the Korean version, there's of course it's based on the novel. There's the Japanese version. There's multiple different storyline and continuity into the Japanese version that they've done as well. So it's a pretty interesting universe.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Schmuckles. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I also stream on Twitch on Wednesday and Sunday nights. The link for that is in the description below. When I asked my subscribers, most people seem to think that Samara Morgan is most likely to be that legendary skin with Sadako. However, based on the definition of the legendary skin, others aren't so sure. You can pause the video here if you want to read that definition that we already went over. There's also other factors that can determine which skin is most likely. Does the legendary skin candidate make sense as a legendary skin? This is pretty much asking, does the character transform Sadako into a different character from the Ring franchise? On Twitter, when I talked about this definition, Polyester said, I always took it like Ultra Rare transforms into a new character from public domain, like Baba Yaga, and Legendary transforms into a new character from that licensor, like Jonathan Byers. But somehow the Birch from Crypt TV breaks that mold as a non-linked very rare skin. These are really good facts to keep in mind. Does the legendary skin make sense with Sadako's power? The legendary skin's gonna inherit Sadako's power and Mori, so arguably the skin needs to make sense with both. However, some people disagree because the legendary Crypt TV skins didn't follow this format. For example, the Luxie inherited the Dr. Shock even though the Luxie doesn't have that power in the Crypt TV franchise. The reveal for Chapter 23 listed specific license holders. Would Behavior bring in a skin from a different license holder that wasn't listed here? In general, is it possible that Behavior worked with different license holders that aren't on this list? Technically, they could probably argue that the base kit content was referencing the original Ringu novel and movie, but still, more license holders seems very complicated.
Working with Kadokawa has been a lot of fun. Of course, like most licensors, they're really close to their universe. They love their character and their story, and they know a lot about their universe. So it was fun to get more information about what their universe is. So that helps us making the right choice and understanding their character rules correctly.
Also, the killer reveal showed us a well. Even though Sadako's power didn't come with a well, would Behavior bring in a non-well related killer for that legendary skin? The version of Sadako we got with the Sadako Rising chapter was the original Japanese movie version of the character. I found leaked Prestige 3 images of her on Twitter. There's even some leaked images of Sadako's face. This is what she looks like with her hair out of the way, and this is what she looks like with no hair. Here are the 4 candidates for that Sadako legendary skin. There's Kyoku Saiki, the Ju on the Grudge main antagonist based on Sadako, Samara Morgan, which is the American version of Sadako, the novel version of Sadako, and Park In-sa, which is the Korean version of Sadako. I also heard things about Okiku's ghost, which is the true scary story that inspired the Ring. I'm not sure if they'd bring in this character, but she's definitely worth mentioning. Let's run our 4 theories up against each of our considerations. A Ju on the Grudge legendary skin would make sense because it transforms Sadako into a different character. You could also argue that a version of Kayako exists in the Ring franchise because of the movie Sadako vs. Kayako from 2016. Also, in general, an Onyo is a mythological spirit of vengeance from Japanese folklore, and Kayako is considered an Onyo. So I'd say the Grudge theory checks out so far. Does the power in Mori make sense with Kayako? Well, no, not really, because the Grudge doesn't use wells, TV screens, or tapes. Other than the fact that Kayako has been known to cause heart attacks, the close-up eye reveal doesn't seem to be in line with Ju on the Grudge. Kadokawa is one of the license holders that Behavior worked with for the Sadako Rising chapter, and they produced Sadako vs. Kayako, so they probably could license in a version of the Grudge based on that film. Samara Morgan is a legendary skin that a lot of fans are hoping for. This legendary skin probably makes sense because it transforms Sadako into a different character. This kind of checks out to me because her name is Samara and not Sadako. Also, Samara does use wells, TV screens, and videotapes. Like in Sadako's Mori, Samara has been known to cause heart attacks in the American version of the Ring. As for the eye close-up, Dave Richards said this about Sadako.
In the Japanese version, there's also some very iconic moment that struck our imagination. There's crawling out of the TV, there's the well, there's like that weird VHS backward movement. And so obviously these are all elements that we wanted to make sure that we represent in the game as well.
There's no question that that face reveal of Samara Morgan is a big reveal in the American version of the Ring, and they could really implement that with Sadako's Mori. So the power and Mori check out for Samara. Even Dave Richards said that Sadako and Samara are similar.
The American version and the Japanese version are still pretty close in themes. Like the character is pretty similar. The curse is similar as well. That's well explained. But for anyone that haven't seen the original version, I would recommend that they go watch this classic.
However, it's not clear if the license holders are the same. Kadokawa made the original Ringu movie and DreamWorks made the American version. However, it looks like Kadokawa Holdings bought 2.83% stake in DreamWorks in 2004. They obtained exclusive rights to sell DreamWorks films, videos, DVDs, and other products in Japan. Does that mean that they own distribution rights to Samara through this deal? It's hard to say. In this interview with Newsweek, Dave Richards said, "We always try to chase the original intellectual property wherever possible. Sometimes that can happen and we take another approach to give players the content they want. Such was the case with the Nightmare on Elm Street DLC, which ended up being based on the 2010 remake." Anyways, our intention was to go after the Ringu license. It could very well have been the American Ring, but Kadokawa were interested in continuing the original story and having their characters be a part of the Dead by Daylight universe. The way this quote from Dave Richard is worded makes it sound like Kadokawa does own the licensing rights to Samara, but I'm not 100% sure. This would make sense with why they picked Sadako over Samara for the base kit. Sadako in the original story is the main focus of the chapter, which is what the license holders wanted. Also, the fact that the ring was listed on the satisfaction survey means that Behavior are probably open to Samara and DBD. A lot of people think Samara wouldn't work because Samara is just a kid and Behavior doesn't like having kids as characters in the game. Well, the new survivor, Yoichi Asakawa, was a kid too.
Yoichi is a kid in Ringu. So that's how we know him in both of the movies. He is a kid. He is affected by Sadako's power. He will lose his parents to Sadako. And he is actually the only survivor of the whole franchise. And for us, it was a tremendous honor and privilege to be able to take that character and continue his story in Dead by Daylight, something that, you know, the fans of Ringu were requesting or asking, what happened with Yoichi after the events of Ringu? And so we created an adult version, he's now mature, he's now an adult version of Yoichi, and we could expand on all of his story from the kid version of the movie up until now.
So if Kadokawa owns the rights to Samara and they already let Behavior change Yoichi Asakawa's age for DBD, surely they could do the same for a Samara legendary skin. The novel version of Sadako, in my opinion, would not really be transforming the character enough to justify a legendary skin. It's a good talking point because it's different versions of the same character Sadako. For example, with Pinhead, we see a legendary skin transforming Pinhead into the Chatterer, and the very rare skin is a different version of Pinhead. So this part of the novel Sadako theory doesn't really make sense for me. The Power and Mori would check out since the novel version of Sadako uses wells, TV screens, and can induce heart attacks. The license holders check out as well since Koji Suzuki, the author of the original novel, is listed as a license holder. The Korean version of Sadako, known as Park In-sa, is from the Ring virus in 1999. I'd say since it's a different version of Sadako with a different name, a legendary skin makes sense here. Also, the Power and Mori check out here too, because in Park In-sa's iconic reveal moment, she crawls out of the TV screen and there's a close-up of her face. There's not a lot of information on the license holders to this film, but the film seems to still be attached to Koji Suzuki. So based on everything we know, Samara Morgan or Park In-sa seems like the most likely legendary, probably with Samara being the frontrunner. Which theory do you think makes the most sense? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.